So we're going to start by taking a look at Chapter 7, which is solving some trig equations. So let's see here. So let's go back here. A couple things we have to remember. Oops, don't know what that is. There we go. So we have to remember, let's see, the angle 1/2 is opposite 30 degrees, 45 degrees, root 2 over 2, 60 degrees, root 3 over 2. And then we always have to remember that in any triangle that we draw on the unit circle, the sine of our angle, the O over H, y over 1 is y, cosine of our angle, the A over H, x over 1 is x, and tangent of our angle, TOA, y over x. So we'll be coming back to that. So now when we take a look at this, we're asked to solve it, and our answer needs to be in radians. So for what degrees is our sine 1/2? Well, this is the y part of our triangle, and it's positive. So there's a triangle right here. Our sine is 1/2 in both of these quadrants, and while we know 1/2 is opposite is 30, and some of you guys might be able to convert this to radians right away. So we have 30 degrees over here. 30 up would be 150 degrees. So in terms of radians, I know that this is pi over 6. Well, this is 5 times 30, so it's 5 pi over 6. So we have our two answers right here. So how does this one differ? Our cosine is negative 1/2. Well, cosine, so that means our x value is negative 1/2. So if we, whoa, that's a bad triangle right there. Let's see. So we have two triangles where this would be negative 1/2. Those are our right angles. So we know opposite is 30, so that means our reference angle has to be 60. So our two angles would be 60 degrees, and 60 below is 240. So in terms of radians, though, we know 60 degrees is pi over 3. And 240, well, that's 4 times 60, so we have 4 pi over 3. So what about this next one? We need to do a little solving first. We got to get the cosine by itself. So if we divide by 4, we have the cosine squared of x equals 3/4. Can take the square root, and when we take the square root, we have to remember it's positive and negative. Square root both of these, so that would be the square root of 3 over 2. And this is our cosine, so that's our x value here. So our x value could be positive square root of 3 over 2, or it could be negative square root of 3 over 2. So we have all these triangles. Well, opposite is 60. So that means our reference angles here have to be 30. So we have 30 degrees, 150 degrees, 30 below, so 180, that would be 210, and 30 below, that would be 330. So in terms of radians, because our answer is in radians, so this is pi over 6. This is 5 times 30, so we have 5 pi over 6. 210 is 7 times 30, so we have 7 pi over 6. And this is 11 times 30, so we have 11 pi over 6. So we have those four answers there. The next one we're going to take a look at is tangent, so we have to divide by the square root of 3. And this one's a little trickier. We have to figure out, well, what would it be? We need negative 1 over the square root of 3. So I know that this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, but we have to figure out what's our reference angle. Well, let's see. If it was 30, or is it one where it's a 60 degree reference, where we have the square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2? What's our reference angle there? Well, opposite over adjacent, so 1/2. So this one's 1 over the square root of 3, a 60 degree. Opposite over adjacent is just the square root of 3. So I know it's this 30 degree, but our tangent has to be negative. So let's see here. 30 degree, well this would be negative, because if this is 30, we'd have positive 1/2, negative square root of 3 over 2. And let's see, this would be negative and a negative, but positive, positive over here, positive and a negative. So 30 degrees, 1/2, root 3 over 2, and this would be negative 1/2. So we'd end up with that negative. So what are our angles here? Well, 30 above 180, so we have 150 degrees and 330 degrees. But again in radians, this is 5 times 30, so we have 5 pi over 6, and 330, 11 times pi over 6, because this is 11 times 30. So this next one we're going to look at, if our cosecant is negative 2, well cosecant is a reciprocal of the sine, so that means our sine of x is negative 1/2. Well, what is sine? Sine's the y part of our triangle, so our y part is negative, so this has to be negative 1/2. So there's two triangles where it's negative 1/2. Geez, we always have these 30 degree ones. So this is 330 over here, 210 right here. Well, this is 7 times 30. So we have 7 pi over 6 would be 1. 11 times 30, so this is 11 pi over 6. All right, so let's take a look at this next one here. Oh, and that's it. So your assignment is the day 1 worksheet.